Everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lisa Benson and I run the creative writing sessions. And today I want us to do a little journaling. This season, with all the different holidays, can come with a lot of sensory input. And those of us with migraine know that that can be really challenging. Myself, I'm really sensitive to like a lot of talking in crowded rooms and a lot of auditory input. Like it literally starts to make my ears hurt, even if I don't have a migraine, and it can often trigger a migraine. So for me, I have to like take care of myself during this time. And I'm sure everyone here could talk about something around this time of year that affects them. But what I thought we could all do is take a few minutes to journal about what your ideal sensory bubble would be. So just picture or, you know, either picture in your mind's eye or in your ears, like any of your senses, what you would like experience. Is everything soft? And quiet, or is your sensory bubble a big energetic concert, with your favorite musician? It can go in any direction that like you relate to and that you feel like a place that you would go to kind of get the sensory needs that you have. So we'll take about 10 minutes and I will give you about a 1 minute warning just to wrap up, and then anyone who wants can share, although it's definitely not required. This is for you. Um, and yeah, so we'll get started. If you have any questions, just put them right in the chat. Oh, and I'll mute everyone now, and then later, if you want to talk, you can unmute. Give me real quick, we're writing about our sensory bubbles, what a ideal sensory bubble would be for you, what you'd see, hear, taste, smell, all of that. To M, we're writing about our sensory bubble. So what your ideal um, place would be, and what your senses would be feeling. We have about 3 minutes left. Hey, so I'm gonna say it's time to come back. And a couple people were sharing in the chat. And I'm sorry or no problem about coming late ever. I'm just glad you could make it. Um, and I'm wondering if people want to share.
Yeah, I can share.
Awesome, Fran.
I had an outside and an inside. And my outside was that it was warm, about 75 to 80 degrees, sunny morning, either sitting in a beautiful, colorful garden with flowers or in a wooded clearing with piney smells, hearing the birds chirping, seeing them flying by, goldfinches, bluebirds, downy woodpeckers, sitting on a wood bench, drinking hot chocolate, I said. So that's my outside piece.
I had chocolate in mine as well. Interrupting.
That's cool. And then inside, I said, listening to classical music, piano or violin, soft lighting, wearing loose fitting, comfy clothes, sitting on a sofa, hearing a crackling fire, probably nighttime, with a friend, no traffic noises, um, eating brie cheese or goat cheese with sesame crackers and some red wine.
Well, those sound great.
Yeah.
Count me in. What I like about those, in all seriousness, is how they're achievable. Um, so there are things that you can go and create for yourself. Obviously, you can't create the weather, but a lot of the other details, are things that you can go do. Does anyone else want to share?
I'll share.
Okay, Tom.
I can share. I won't be too long here. Since we're talking about the bubble, I thought about the sounds that annoy me. Number one is the noisy clatter of the supermarket with the carts and the shelves and just the noise, and the music that plays, the din of music that nobody listens to. The sound of the traffic jams on my way home from the office. I'm in Philadelphia, so it's like 6 lanes coming home onto 2 lanes. And the last thing is every Wednesday morning, the trash trucks converge on my street because I live on the dividing line between two different townships. So one organization from one county does one side and then mine does the other side. Then they do the recycling. So there's really four different trash trucks between 7:30 and 8, which I'm already awake. It's just it's the metal and the metal cans and the noise. But so getting back to the bubble, my living room, specifically what we call my headache chair. It's an overstuffed old chair, probably 50 years old. It has my navy blue throw. My oxygen tank is nearby for my clusters. It's got several pillows. It's all comfy and everything. It looks old, but it's very comfortable with pillows. I enjoy comedy movies at low volume on cable TV. At like 8 o'clock, I find a silly movie, Christmas Vacation or something silly, and I watch that for a couple hours, and that soothes me. And I have access. I have my remote is right there on the armchair. I have access to my Alexa, which I can listen to like soft music or soft rock or something from a bygone era of the 50s or 60s, something nice. Listen to music, and it's quiet. I keep the lights really low. The the volume on my devices is kept very low. Alexa, stop. Sorry.
Oh.
Um, she she heard me. So loud noises um amplify my migraine. So I keep the volume on my devices at the lowest possible with low notification noises. And I put in silent light switches that don't make any noise when you click them, and thick carpeting to minimize the noise. And the last thing is quiet and low lights really help me live with migraine and a recent stage 1 cancer diagnosis, which was my Christmas present, I guess. I can live with it. I'm okay with it. So thankfully, the healthcare facility I go for my immunotherapy, they have no televisions. And I love going to this place because there's no televisions on the wall, no noise, no music, no speakers overhead, nice and quiet. You can hear the doctor speak. Every other healthcare facility I've been to in the past, there's televisions all over with like news or MSNBC or something that you don't want to hear when you don't feel well. So if I could invent one, I would invent a universal remote that would shut off all the televisions in like hospitals and airports, or Burger King has them now, and McDonald's. Everybody's got televisions and nobody's watching. But thank you for your creative idea to come up with it. It really made me think a little bit about, where do I want to be? I knew the young lady brought up, a friend you brought up, an outdoor setting where it's warm. We have snow on the ground in Philadelphia right now, so my porch furniture is all covered up with tarps right now because I would sit on it in the summertime, but kind of chilly out right now, and I do like sitting outside and looking at the flowers and the plants, and that'll come in, I guess, April, I guess. But for now, we're kind of hunkered down here on the East Coast because it's below freezing, and I like 4 seasons, but I don't like being cold. I have flannel and a throw, and I have something on my legs and my fleece or whatever to stay warm. I'm in a space heater. Thank you very much, Lisa. This is a good subject.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate you sharing and having when my mom was dealing with cancer, she passed, but when she was dealing with cancer, I remember bringing her to the for her treatments, and those TVs were very disruptive. So I do imagine if they replaced them all, even if they still had TVs with just nature scenes or something, it would be so much better. Um, we have time for maybe one or two other people to share. Jim, you and I were direct messaging, but I think if you could summarize, you're welcome to. I see Kimmy also, you're raising your hand.
I'll share. I'll go ahead. I'm new.
Mhm. Welcome.
New. Thanks. New to the
Is
group.
this your
Not new
first
to.
time?
Yeah.
Awesome.
New to the group. Not new to migraine, unfortunately. And I'm sitting here with my awesome heating pad that I don't go anywhere without. Love.
Mhm.
It's just a comfort. It doesn't even. It's not even like any of my medicines, but
Mhm.
it's a big comfort. Sometimes I do put it on my head and curled back here, and it works. So thank you for the group. And I wrote see I really love different color combinations, and having colors like go together really is pleasing to me, like sunset colors but with some turquoise in there, or a little bit of contrast, right? And then hearing would be either silence, I like the no TVs, or low warm voices. And then I like lemon water, but just with a hint of lemon, so you can smell it but barely taste it. Right? You just smell it a little bit, and then touch is when my husband puts his hands on my shoulders. He's always been so willing to help my neck relax. Not a cure, but it is what it is. Feel comfort. And the smell that I really love is like when I was a kid, like suntan lotion, that coconut smell from the Jersey Shore, just not this like perfumey one. It's just
I know exactly
inimitable,
that smell. It's,
right?
yeah. And also, I didn't put like sort of massages for touch, but I did put free access to like tight hugs.
Mm,
So I very much relate to that.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks.
All right, we have time for one more. Jim, why don't you unmute and share real quick? Because I see your direct messaging me, but I can't multitask very well, so I'm not quite sure how to answer. But if you unmute, he has a piece he wrote that he's been talking to me about, and I don't know if there's a way to share it a little bit shorter since it is 8 o'clock, but um if you want to give it a go, and if people want to stay on an extra minute or two, that would be fine.
Okay. Well, this is started in February, and it has been a journey that culminated this December, and some incredible coincidence, which is hard to say that they were coincidence, that will likely change my life according to my pain therapist with some additional uh, uh, interactions with some of her therapy sessions and possibly mitigate all my pain and migraine for the future. Um, it has to do with the play in the movie Wicked. The movie just came out and will be streaming starting January 2nd. And it started just out of randomness when I watched an AGT TV show that uh, resulted in two moms on opposite side. One was their son was a donor, the other was a recipient, and the one on the East Coast passed, and the one on the West Coast received the heart. And years later, they got together and, in fact, had contacted each other, just like I have with the recipient of my late wife's donation that saved her life. And in their discussion, they realized that they had sang the same song. One was getting the heart, and one was, and they were losing their son, the song "For Good, for Wicked." And it was just coincidence that I tuned into that. So I looked into it further, and one of the first things I ran into, because as a child living in LA, I attended Hollywood Bowl performance, and Kristen Chenoweth, the lead actress for the play, had a performance there, called somebody from the audience at random who by accident got the seat that she got because she was misseated beforehand. And she was a vocal coach and sang "For Good" with her, and essentially outsung Kristen Chenoweth. And it changed her life. And she went on tour all over the world and was in a local performance of Wicked. And that caused me to look into the lyrics. And what I found out about the lyrics to that song would be exactly what I would have wanted to say to my wife as I was trying to assist her while she was dying from a massive brain hemorrhage while we were on vacation. So needless to say, it stuck with me. Shortly after that, for some reason, the Wicked play appeared in San Francisco. I mean, all this, of course, is coincidence. And it was about the last week when I really found out about it and trying to get seats. There was nothing there when I initially searched for me and my friends. One who is a co-facilitator for Miles for Migraine decided to go to San Francisco and see the play. There were a few separate seats scattered all around the theater. So we chose a date where we all be available. And I looked again, and magically there were 4 seats together in the center of the theater, right next to each other. And of course, I grabbed 3, and we saw the play, which basically was, I mean, it made a big difference in my life. Then, unbelievably, after that, the movie came out a couple months later, and it had been 20 years in the making, literally. And so we went and saw the movie, actually a couple times to get the full gist of it because it was incredible. And after doing that, we decided to go out to eat because it was still dinner time when we got out of the movie. And it was on the way to their home. I picked them up from their home so we could go at one car, and then drove down to see the movie and was driving back to their home. And it happened to be a Chinese restaurant that we'd been before that had a well-known reputation in the Bay Area for outstanding food. So we stopped by thinking nothing about the movie, uh, other than the fact that we saw it or the name of the restaurant, and decided to have dinner there. And when we walked into the restaurant, on the desk where we checked in, because there was a waiting for table time, there was a book there, and it said something, I don't remember the name of it, but I noticed at the bottom of the jacket it features Wicked for some reason, and I had no idea why. So I asked the person that was doing the seating what it was about. She says, "Oh, the son of the owner of this restaurant, which was named Chef Chu's, was the director for the movie Wicked." Obviously, we were shocked. So in any case, we waited, and when the person came to seat us at our table, we mentioned that we just had heard about this. We had just seen the movie. He says, "Oh, really?" He says, "Well, I'm John Chu's brother." And that's who seated us at the table. So I just keep wondering, can all of this be simply coincidence? Or is it some kind of a holiday message or something or other? Is Hawa connected with my late wife, the words, and the randomness of all this happening? Can it be just a coincidence or something more? And so that's what I wrote, and I shared with Lisa. As far as the full text of this, I'm sort of summarizing it a bit.
No, thanks for summarizing because we're over, but I truly feel that those who have passed can speak with us, and you don't have to agree or disagree. I mean, you have to agree with that to appreciate your story, Jim. But I mean, it's one of those mysteries we'll never figure out, I guess. But
No,
um, I mean, that's
it tells me that
beautiful.
there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can't all be coincidence. It's
no,
just too much together.
yep. Well, thank you everyone for taking time to take care of yourself and to share with all of us. It's always so great to see you all, great to see new faces and names as well. I'm just sharing oh, I didn't share it to the group. Our slide just stating all the programs we run, and we are donation based. So, anytime you have the ability to donate, that's always appreciated. But either way, have a happy new year, and we'll see you next year. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
And thank you.
Yeah, thank you.